I did not find out my wife was still attached to her ex through a lipstick stain or a late-night text. I found out through a Christmas photo. We were at my mother's house, shoulders tight in sweaters, pretending we were one of those families that always laughs in the kitchen and never argues in the car. My wife Alina stood near the tree with our 2-year-old on her hip. My mom kept snapping pictures while my sister passed around cocoa. It should have been simple. Later that night, after we put our son to bed, my mom started posting the photos. I scrolled through them on my phone, half asleep, doing that mindless thing where you like your own family pictures because it feels polite. Then I saw it. In one photo, Alina's left hand rested on my shoulder. Her ring caught the light, but on the inside of her wrist, half hidden by the sleeve of her sweater, there was a small tattoo I'd never seen before. 3 letters and a date, clean, delicate, fresh enough that the skin still looked slightly raised. I stared at the screen until my eyes went dry. Alina does not do spontaneous. She reads reviews for toothpaste. When she does something permanent, it is planned months in advance. She also hates needles. She almost fainted when she got her ears pierced as a teen, and she brings that story up every time someone mentions tattoos. So why did she suddenly have one? And why did it look like initials? I zoomed in. The letters were RMJ. Underneath was a date from 8 years ago. I knew that date. It was the year she got engaged the first time, before me, before us, before the fresh start she claimed she wanted. Her ex was named Roman. I swallowed hard and told myself not to jump to conclusions. Maybe it was something else. Maybe those letters meant a phrase. Maybe the date was random. Maybe I was sleep-deprived and letting anxiety do its favorite thing. But as I kept scrolling, I noticed something else in another photo. Roman was in the background. Not like a distant stranger, not like a coworker who happened to swing by. He was sitting at my mom's dining table, laughing with my uncle, holding a mug like he belonged there. My stomach dropped. Roman was not invited, at least not by me. I looked at Alina, asleep on the couch, hair messy, one arm curled around the baby monitor like it was a security blanket. She looked peaceful. She always looked peaceful when I was the one carrying the stress. I did not wake her. I did not confront her at midnight in my mother's living room. I just kept scrolling until I found the group photo. There he was again. Roman, standing close to Alina, closer than he needed to be. His hand was on the back of her chair, the kind of casual touch that people think is invisible. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. We had been married 3 years. Together, 5. We had a toddler who called me Dada and followed me around the house like I was his entire world. Our life was not flashy, but it was stable. I worked in project management for a construction supplier. Alina did marketing for a local clinic. We had a modest mortgage, an old reliable SUV, and a calendar full of daycare payments. I thought stability was the goal. Now stability felt like a trap. I did what I always do when something feels off. I started searching for facts so my emotions could not control the steering wheel. First, I checked our shared calendar. Roman's name was not on any event. Then I checked my texts with my mom. A thread from 2 weeks earlier caught my attention. My mom had written, "Just confirming Roman is coming too. He said he is bringing dessert." I had responded with a single question mark and then nothing, because I assumed she meant a different Roman. My mom has a habit of using first names like everyone is part of the family already. And she never corrected it. Alina never corrected it. They let me assume I misunderstood. I sat up, careful not to wake Alina, and stepped into the kitchen. The house was quiet. The only sound was the fridge humming and the faint buzz of streetlights outside. I called my mom. She picked up on the second ring, voice cheerful, like it was still Christmas. I asked her why Roman was there. She hesitated. That tiny pause told me everything. Then she said softly that Alina asked her. She said Roman had been having a hard time and Alina did not want him to be alone for the holidays. She said it was just kindness. She said Roman and Alina were always good friends and I should not read into it. The words kindness and friends landed like rocks. I asked my mom if she saw the tattoo. She went quiet again. Then she said Alina told her it was a reminder of a chapter that made her who she is, and she wanted closure. She said it was harmless, and I should stop being sensitive. Stop being sensitive. It is amazing how families can make betrayal sound like a personality flaw in the person being betrayed. I thanked my mom and ended the call before my voice cracked. In the bathroom, I stared at myself in the mirror and tried to slow my breathing. I could feel anger rising, but it was the kind of anger that comes with shock, the kind that makes your hands shake. I went back to the living room and looked at Alina again. I remembered how she used to talk about Roman. She said he was her first real love. She said he was immature and could not commit. She said she learned not to settle for promises. She said she chose me because I was steady. She called me steady so many times that it started to feel like my name. Now I wondered if steady was just her word for safe. The next morning, Alina acted normal. She kissed my cheek. She made coffee. She thanked my mom for hosting. She loaded gifts into the trunk with a smile. Roman was there too, wearing a friendly face like a mask. He shook my hand and said it was good to see me, as if we were teammates. I watched his eyes flick toward Alina's wrist, and I saw something pass between them, something quick and private. A message without words. On the drive home, I kept my voice even. I asked Alina when she got the tattoo. She did not flinch. She said last month. I asked what it meant. She said it was nothing, just a symbol of her past, a reminder of what she survived. She said it was her body and her choice. That line is true, but she used it like a shield, like it ended the conversation. I asked why Roman was at my mother's house. She shrugged and said he was lonely and my mom offered. She said it was no big deal. I asked her why she did not tell me. She said she knew I would overreact. There it was again. The story where my reaction is the problem. When we got home, our son ran to his toys and Alina went straight to the bedroom to change. As she lifted her sleeve, the tattoo showed again, and I felt something cold settle in my chest. That night, after our son fell asleep, I asked Alina to sit with me at the kitchen table. I kept my voice calm. I told her I was not attacking her. I told her I needed honesty. I asked her if she was still emotionally involved with Roman. She laughed, a short, sharp laugh, like I had told a joke in bad taste. She said no. Then she said Roman was in a bad spot. He lost his job, he was depressed, he needed support. She said she was being a decent human. I asked why support required secret invitations and matching initials on her wrist. Her expression shifted. The confident mask slipped for half a second. Then it returned, smoother than before. She told me I was insecure. She told me the tattoo had nothing to do with Roman and everything to do with reclaiming her story. She told me Roman was family to her and I needed to accept that. Family. That word landed differently, because Alina's family already felt like Roman's family too. She still had his mother on social media. She still went to their family barbecue every summer and called it tradition. She said they loved our son, and it was good to have extra support. I had tolerated it because I believed love was flexible, because I believed being reasonable made me stronger. Now I saw the cost. The next day at work, I could not focus. I kept seeing that tattoo. Letters and a date stamped into her skin like a promise. At lunch, I searched Roman's name online. I did not want to, but I needed context. His social media was mostly empty, but there were comments from Alina under a photo from a month ago. The caption said "New Beginnings." Alina's comment was a red heart. Not a friendly smile, not a polite congrats. A red heart. I felt sick. A week later, the truth walked into my life through my own front door. I came home early because daycare called. Our son had a fever. I left work, drove home, and expected to see Alina on the couch with a worried face. Instead, I heard laughter from upstairs. A low, male laugh I recognized. I walked up the stairs slowly, each step heavy. Our bedroom door was slightly open. I did not kick it in. I did not yell. I just pushed it gently and looked inside. Roman was sitting on the edge of our bed, wearing a clean shirt like he had been there a while. Alina stood near the dresser, adjusting her hair. Her sleeves were rolled up. The tattoo was fully visible. They both froze. Alina's eyes widened, then narrowed quickly like she was calculating. Roman stood up, hands raised slightly, like he was the innocent one caught in a misunderstanding. Alina said it was not what it looked like. That phrase is so common it almost feels rehearsed by the universe. I asked why he was in our bedroom. She said he came by to talk because he was having a rough day and needed support. In our bedroom, with her fixing her hair. I looked at our bed and noticed the comforter was not smooth the way Alina keeps it. One pillow was on the floor. I asked where our son was. Alina blinked, then said he was at daycare. He was not. I had just gotten the call. She forgot. That is what happens when you are juggling lies. You lose track of the real world. I told Roman to leave. He looked at Alina like he was waiting for permission. She gave a tiny nod. Roman grabbed his jacket and walked past me, close enough that I could smell his cologne. He muttered that this was not his fault. I did not respond. When the door shut, Alina's shoulders dropped and she tried to step into a calmer tone, like we could have a mature discussion now. She said she did not cheat. She said they only talked. She said I was making it bigger. I asked her to show me her phone. She refused immediately. I asked again. She said no. Then she said if I did not trust her, maybe I should leave. The same move. Push the blame outward. Make me the one to break the home so she can claim victimhood. But this time my mind was clear. I walked into the living room, picked up our son's daycare bag, and drove to the daycare to get him. The teacher brought him out, cheeks flushed, sleepy and warm. I held him and felt my anger redirect into something protective. On the drive back, I made a decision that surprised even me. I was not going to argue my way into being respected. I was going to step out of the game entirely. That night, after our son fell asleep, I told Alina we needed to separate. Her face went flat, not shocked, not heartbroken, more like annoyed that the plan changed. She asked if I was serious. I said yes. She asked where I would go. I said I was not leaving. I said we would figure out a schedule for our son, but I was not going to be pushed out of my own life. She reminded me the house was in both our names, but the down payment came from her side of the family. She said she could make it difficult. I told her I did not want a war. I wanted peace and a fair arrangement. She said Roman could help her with money if needed. That is when I understood. Roman was not just emotional. He was practical too. A backup plan, a leverage tool. Over the next 2 weeks, the lies unraveled in pieces. My sister called me one evening and asked if everything was okay. She said our mom told her I had been moody lately and Alina was stressed because I was jealous of Roman. Jealous. That word again, like a stamp to dismiss reality. Then my sister said something else. She said Alina told the family she and Roman never really ended. She said they took a break, but they were always each other's person. She said marrying me was a step she took because she needed stability while Roman figured himself out. I felt like the floor disappeared. My sister apologized for repeating it, but she said she thought I deserved to know what story was being told behind my back. I thanked her and hung up, then sat in silence for a long time. When I confronted Alina with that, she did not deny it. She said it in a moment of frustration. She said I was twisting her words. Then she did something that finally snapped the last thread. She said I should be grateful she chose me at all, because without her, I would still be a boring man with no life. I looked at her and realized she did not love me. She loved what I provided, the stability, the mortgage payment, the dependable father figure, and if I stayed, I would teach our son that love is something you buy and earn by tolerating disrespect. So I stopped negotiating. I called a lawyer the next morning and asked what my options were. I opened a separate bank account and moved my direct deposit. I made copies of our shared bills and a list of daycare payments. I started documenting, not because I wanted to destroy her, because I wanted to protect my child and my future. Alina sensed the shift and tried a new tactic. She became sweet. She cooked my favorite dinner. She apologized for not communicating. She said she understood my fears. She said Roman would step back. Then her phone lit up on the counter while she was in the shower. A message preview popped up. It was from Roman. It said, "Do not worry. He will calm down. You always pull them back." I stared at those words until my hands stopped shaking. Pull them back. Not reconcile, not heal. Pull. Like I was something she could drag into position. I took a screenshot and sent it to myself. Then I locked my phone and sat at the table, waiting. When Alina came out, she saw my face and knew something changed. I told her I saw the message. She did not apologize. She got angry. She said I violated her privacy. I said she violated our marriage. She said Roman was the only one who truly understands her, and if I was going to be this controlling, maybe she should just be with someone who accepts her. I told her to go. She blinked, surprised. She was used to me working harder when she threatened leaving. She was used to me trying to prove I was worthy. I did not this time. I told her if Roman was her person, she should stop using me as the cover story. For a moment, her eyes looked almost scared, like she realized the safety net was gone. Then she grabbed her bag and left the house that night. She did not ask about our son. She did not kiss him goodnight. She left like she was storming out of a meeting, offended that someone disagreed. The next few weeks were brutal. Alina posted vague quotes online about toxic men and emotional abuse. She told family members I was controlling and paranoid. Roman started showing up to exchanges for our son, standing behind her like a shadow, acting like he belonged in my life now. I stayed quiet publicly and got loud privately. I set a temporary custody schedule through my lawyer. I kept our son's routine steady because he was the only innocent person in the blast radius. Then a letter showed up that flipped the world again. It was from a private lab addressed to our home. Inside was a paternity test result, not mine, Roman's. It claimed he was the biological father of a child. Our child. My hands went numb. I read it 3 times. The words did not change. I called Alina and asked what she did. She sounded calm, almost annoyed that I was surprised. She said Roman deserved to know. She said it did not matter because I was still the dad in practice. In practice, she said, like fatherhood was something you rent. I got my own test through my lawyer. The result came back a week later. I was not the biological father. I sat at my kitchen table with the paper shaking in my hands while my son slept in the next room. and I realized the betrayal had levels I did not even have words for. But I also realized something that kept me standing. Biology is a fact. Being a father is a choice you make every day. I had been there for every fever, every bedtime, every first step. I was on the birth certificate. I was the one who showed up, so I fought for my rights. I gathered daycare records with my name, doctor forms, photos, messages from Alina calling me his dad, everything that proved what our son already knew in his bones. I also told my family the full truth, the tattoo, Roman in our bedroom, the message about pulling men back, the secret test done behind my back. The spinning stopped the moment the facts arrived. The judge saw what mattered and protected the bond I had built. Shared custody. A future where my son would not be used like a trophy in a story I did not choose. When I walked out of that courthouse holding his hand, I felt quiet relief I cannot fully explain. Just the steady feeling that betrayal was not writing my future. Alina still has that tattoo. The letters are still there, stamped like a claim. To me, they are a warning. Never confuse being chosen with being valued. Never accept being called stable when what they mean is usable. And never stay in a relationship where loyalty is treated like something you earn by tolerating disrespect. If this story hit home, hit like and subscribe for more real betrayal stories where self-respect has the final word.